Yeah, hi. My name is Yogesh Sehgal. I head business development for ABC Consultants, and my question is actually to both Patrick and Stephen. And I better get this right because my boss is right here. So,
if he's a good leader, he's not going to put any pressure on you. Go right ahead.
I sure hope so. You've all touched upon various points, and you've stressed upon the concept of trust and how integrity is important. There's also a very important component. As you move up the corporate ladder, you tend to be a little less accessible to your employees. And I think accessibility for a leader is also very important. And how important do you think that is? And what kind of accessibility would you recommend that a leader adopts?
Yeah, it's the same sort of parent-child relationship. Should you really be a friend to your child? Should you be a parent? Where do you actually draw the line? It's the same sort of philosophy that we're talking about.
Well, I think that's right. Patrick, I think, said it very well. You know, you should always say, come on, not go on. And I think that really sums it up. Although I will share with you, you come from the military, Patrick, and there was a military lesson that I was taught once as well in terms of this accessibility and approachability. And that was a 3-star general who was in charge of business development at the time, similar to probably what you do, said, remember, rank times IQ is a constant. Rank times IQ is a constant. So, you know, I think you have to have some humility as well. You have to be humble. But I think being accessible and leading from the front and being visible is absolutely a component, especially the higher up you go. You know, there's a component to every person's job that you have to just do the mundane work. But if you get to a certain position within a company, you're expected to be out. And you're expected to help lead your people, to be visible, to let them know what kind of a person you are. And I think that touches on the authenticity that I touched on.
Patrick?
I think it's a real challenge. I mean, the DNA of a company is established around stories and experiences. And, of course, they're very much linked to the people at the top at different times. I think the challenge you have always is, I've never been a great believer I'm afraid I'm not a great one for putting up a Monday morning message on a website to 36,000 people in the UK, because actually I think they've got better things to do than read papers from myself. I think that the challenge you have always is to make certain that you are not threatening the intermediate layers of management as you interact with staff. Because again, this whole thing about set the direction, let people get on with it. There's no point in going through down the thing and starting to do the job for them, because you'll not only confuse your staff, but you'll demoralize the people. I think that you almost, as you rise through the organization, you have to take your reputation and your experience with you. And you have to play act a little bit at times so that people don't forget who you are and what you're doing. But if you're running a really good team, then you've developed really good people around you, and they should be carrying the culture. But, I mean, there are iconic people, and you know, I obviously studied military history, and I would say for all their failures, the 2 iconic generals at different ends of the equation were Patton and Rommel. Totally different people. People never even saw them. But the fear that Rommel had in the British 8th Army, even when he wasn't in theatre, was enormous. So I think you've got to get that balance. You've got to have damn good people, but they've got to know what they do, and you've got to give them space. But you've got to get down in the engine room yourself. The other thing, I think, sorry, I'll go on, but the other thing you must never forget is the other important stakeholder in this is your customer. And I think you can focus too much on your own staff without perhaps focusing a little bit on the customer as well.